Well, it's Uncommon Fossil Day, talking about a deck that I've been wanting to do for a bit and haven't gotten around to for one thing or another. Part of it is my approach to the economy as a budget player is wait to craft the cards for the new set till I finish the Battle Pass, and this one's featuring Mewtwo EX from the new set Paradox Rift. I'll cover that since I'm talking about it. 230 HP. It's got 2 attacks. The first, transfer charge. You can accelerate 2 energies from the discard pile to your Pokemon any way you'd like. 2 psychic energies. And the deck just plays psychic energy, so that's fine. It's okay as long as you're not, can help set up your next turn. And then, but the big attack here is Photon Kinesis. 10 for 2 psychic, 10 plus 30 more for each psychic energy attached to all your Pokemon. So we need to get a lot of energies in play, so pairing it with a Xatu engine, a 2/2 Xatu. I will say, look, I have finished the Battle Pass a little while ago, and I've just been getting distracted by other things, but finally getting around to this deck. And I am excited about it. It's okay, which is kind of what I expected it to be. It certainly is playable, for sure. And look, I do like the Xatu engine. The Xatu, if you're not familiar with it, it's got clairvoyant sense ability. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic psychic energy card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. If you do this, you draw 2 cards. It's the same ability as Shadow Rider VMAX, and Mewtwo EX's attack is the same as Shadow Rider's VMAX's attack. So they've split Shadow Rider into 2 pieces is what we've done, which does give the deck some flexibility in some ways. So I think this is better than Shadow Rider right now. Partly getting a bunch of Xatus on the bench, 3 or 4 is what we want to do because we need to flood the board with energy, and it gives us some flexibility. So we play 3 of the Mewtwo EX, a 4/4 Xatu line. We play 2 of the Mimikyu with the safeguard ability. It just is very helpful, makes life difficult for your opponents. Prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's EX and V Pokemon. And you can attack with it, which is actually important in games because you need to get some pressure on. Ghost Eye for 2 energies. You put 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. So just getting some damage on things means they can't just take an indefinite number of turns till they set things up, right? Because most decks have a way around it. You're putting pressure on it with it. But it is very good in this deck. And then 1 copy of New EX could have a second copy of it. Restart ability is partly why it's here. Once during your turn, you can draw 3 cards in hand. And then the attack is useful too. Genome hacking. You choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use this attack. So can be very good. It's situational, but opens up great possibilities. And it does have free retreat. It's a pivot. Xatu accelerates only to the bench. So having a pivot is really good. Like I said, a second copy might be something the deck needs. I've been playing without it, and it's been okay, though, but certainly something to think about for the future. I'm playing 15 basic psychic energies. You could cut it to 14. I don't know if I'd go less than 14 with it, but just because you need energy in hand to accelerate with Xatu, you got to get your bench set up, and we need tons of energy, and then the deck does just churn through. It rips through the deck once you're set up, and you'll have to actually be a little careful about going too fast through the deck once you're set up, that because you can get close to decking out, assuming you set up quickly. And it does a decent amount. All right, what do we have to help set up? We've got 4 Battle VIP Pass, just super, super important. We need to get a bunch of basic Pokemon down turn 1, so a Battle VIP Pass or 2 turn 1 is very important, as with a lot of decks. We also play 4 Fog Crystals, really good in a deck like this. This is going to rotate, as is Battle VIP Pass, actually, but I'm going to miss Fog Crystal a lot. For decks like this, you search your deck for a psychic energy or a basic psychic Pokemon, reveal it, put it in your hand. So you get the basic psychic Pokemon to get things set up, or an energy, which then you can accelerate with your Xatu. Really, really nice card in a deck like this. And then 4 Ultra Balls. We need to get the Xatus. The Xatus you can't get with Nest Ball or Level Ball, so therefore 4 Ultra Balls. And of course, the Ultra Balls will also get us the basic Pokemon. So relying on that. What else do we have here? 1 Earthen Vessel, discard a card, draw 2 energies. We need energies in hand, like I said, so Earthen Vessel gets us 2. 1 more than Fog Crystal, so nice card to have here. At times, I've had a second copy. I'm down to 1 now, just as I've shifted the deck around. In terms of Pokemon and energy, we do have 3 copies of Bravery Charm, very important. Your basic Pokemon get plus 50 HP, so your Mewtwo EX then become 280, which is good. We certainly would prefer it to be like 10 higher, but 280 still is a nice number on a basic 2 prize Pokemon. And then in terms of Pokemon and energy, 2 copies of Super Rod. Like I said, we churn through the deck pretty aggressively at times, so need to get back energies and or Pokemon as the game goes on. We're discarding things like with Ultra Ball, Earthen Vessel. We want to be able to get some things back. So Rod's just really important. Plus, only the 1 copy of the Mew EX, so it helps get that back if that's what we need. Or if we really lean into Mimikyu in a game, we can make them hit through more than 2 Mimikyu, which might be the way to go. In terms of Mimikyu, let me just say this. You want to keep in mind Mimikyu, you want to keep through the prize map if you know early on it's a game where Mimikyu is going to be the star. You might not want to bench any of your 2 prizers and not even too many Natu Xatu combos just to force them to really work through a lot of Mimikyus. But you'll have to kind of figure that out situationally. All right. Where was I? Brave. Okay. Supporters here we play for Iono. Good early, good late. We play Path as well. So for Path. So because it shuts down the Mew EX ability, but that's okay. We have the Xatu, which it doesn't affect. So Path to the Peak really good. And another important card that's rotating too. And but for Iono, good early, getting fresh 6 cards. And also, if you're starting to run out, your deck gets too thin, the Iono can keep you from decking out. So I like 4 copies of that. 2 research, just really good early, getting going in particular, and 2 bosses orders, obviously very good. 1 copy of Counter Catcher as well. Yeah, well, you know what it does, right? If not, take a look at it or ask me in the comments below. I repeating all these cards every time gets a little old, probably for me, and I'm certain for you. So that's the 60. I covered it, and it's a solid list, I think. And let's take a look on the ladder and see what it does. Okay, let's see what we can do this game. Last game, which I don't know if I'll upload, it was a close game. I think I didn't quite optimize my play, and I needed to flip 1 more heads on my last turn. I was in bad shape, I will say. I was attacking with Natu, honestly, and I needed triple heads. And I still wouldn't have won the game on that turn, I will say. But if I hit 2 heads, 1 more heads, and I kind of like my chances. All right, but anyway, it's taking the mulligan's okay. I need to get a bunch of Pokemon in play. That's what needs to happen here. All right, this is taking a little bit to get going. Hopefully my opponent's not going to be super slow. Okay. All right, starting Mew. Okay. Battle VIP PAL. All right, this is all right. I'll attach Bravery Charm, I think. We'll see what I'm up against here. Certainly didn't make a mistake in what I started. Okay, so I'm gonna want. I want to get that Mimikyu, right? And a Natu. And I can't put damage counters on the benched Pokemon. But of course, he's not a benched Pokemon, right? So I'm going to attach here. Gonna attach here. I don't think I want to thin. I think I will just end turn here. I could use Ultra Ball, ditch 2 cards, but sorry about that phone there. I'll deal with that a little later. So we will see what happens here. What's their attack do? They can get 2 energies into hand, which doesn't really help this deck, right? Because it's an acceleration deck. So Path will be very good in this matchup if I can get that set up. Mimikyu's good. With the tool, they don't one-shot me, even with the stage 1. So with the Charmeleon. Okay, getting Battle VIP Pass. They're getting a very nice turn. Very nice turn for them. I'm trying to think, do I want to thin my hand down some? So Path would have been good because they're going to end their turn with Rotom V. 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking, paying attention to the prizes that they can grab without hitting through a Mimikyu, right? Right now there's 3 prizes. Mimikyu is 4, get down the other Mimikyu, it's 5, and then recover a third Mimikyu to take the 6th prize. That's kind of the way the prize map looks to me here. So I do not want to bench him. I think I want to... I'm going to thin my hand, though. Get another Mimikyu down. Good, he's there. I wasn't certain. I'll draw some cards with the Mew. I really want to get Path down as part of it, right? I definitely want Path. So I don't want to attach this energy to get to 0 cards in, because if I don't draw an energy, then I'm in a bit of a situation. Okay, so I will... Gonna attach here. I think I'm gonna research. Save my Xatu for after the research, because I really do want to get Path in play. Right? I want to get Path in play. So let me thin my deck some. Just gonna keep thinning things down some. That's what I'm doing here, because I really want Path. Really want Path. All right, there's 4 paths, so I've made all the plays I can. I will accelerate an energy to my other Mimikyu. I'm glad I have the tools on them. I have my pivot in the active. All right, didn't get the Path, unfortunately. So I will take the first prize, and we'll see what happens. So, right, the nice thing, one of the important things with this deck is that with the Mimikyu is the Jirachi stops damage counters being placed only on bench Pokemon. So I have access to, so I can knock out the active Pokemon, right? And I'm not putting stuff on the bench. So this is the play if they may boss and knock me out, but that's okay too. They may boss and like take out my Mew EX, and that's all right. I can, I'm going to just make them work through a lot of Mimikyus, I think is the strategy here. Because they're going to have a tough time with that. They might not even have, like if they're attacking with the basic Pokemon, it's a lot of turn, right? I don't remember what the basic does. I one-shot the basic, so I win that battle, and I don't think they're going to be able to one-shot me. They can do 20 off the Pidgey. That's not getting them very far. They could do 30 off the Charmander, but that's 3-shotting without the tool, right? So if they play Canceling Cologne, that's a knockout, but I don't know how many of those they're going to play in the deck, right? So we will see what happens here. Ideally, they don't knock out my active, of course. That is the goal here, and it's going to be a slow game and it's going to be a very slow game though. It's going to be a lot of Mimikyu attacks to get through a Charizard EX. Probably better if I don't think about how many it is. So I'd love to gust up that Charmander because he does do 30 to me, and I would rather not have that happen. Okay, are they going to Lumineon as well? All right, they're really all in. Okay, so Lumineon obviously attacks, and it shuffles in the deck. It doesn't damage me in the process. Okay, so which is fine. It gives me Counter Catcher, right? So I'm going to Counter Catcher the Charmander, which I honestly I kind of like that play because I Counter Catcher the Charmander for knockout, and that is a very nice turn of events for me. So I'm going to Xatu here. I don't want to bench anybody else. I'm going to Counter Catcher. I have Boss too. Maybe I sit on this hand then. I was going to... So Counter Catcher, use that this turn when I can. I have boss. It's a nice hand I have here, I gotta say. I'm gonna attach to the Xatu. Why not? Gives me free retreat, right? In case they gust him up, a gust stall. Now look, if they can gust him up, they should be able to. They can knock him out too. So that he's a boss target. He's a prize that they're gonna look to take. But bossing up the things that can damage my Mimikyu is the plan here, which right now is just what they're gonna bench. So if they bench something else, if they don't disrupt my hand, because they might want to boss me up anyway. So right, they might want to, if they have Xatu, if they have boss, they want to get that with the Xatu. They want to take out the Xatu, in which case my hand gets preserved, and I boss up another Charmander, and that's their third Charmander in the discard pile, and it's just slowing them down. So they're going to take out the Xatu as expected, and that's perfectly fine. Again, they've taken their 3 prizes. Those are the 3 prizes I'm letting them take besides my Mimic without working through Mimikyus. And Mimikyus are going to take time. They're not going to like this boss when it comes down. And I path to the peak, and I boss, and they can't be liking their situation. Right? And this guy did 40 to me, so he's a heavy hitter. If they can get rid of the tool, they're still 2-shotting me though, right? I don't know if they play the stage 1. I haven't seen that, I'm pretty sure, right? So they might not. Even if they play the stage 1, they probably just play 1. So I don't think that's gonna win the day for them. So, what are they gonna do here? I'm not sure what they're gonna do here. So this could be a game where, I'm just gonna plod through for the rest of the game. That's kind of where it's looking to me. So, which is okay. It's okay. Trying to think, do I want to thin out the deck? I do want which I need access to Mimikyu in the future, as well as access to. So they do play Charmeleon. He's not in play though. Oh, okay. So he's scary. He's a bit scary. So they're going to get rid of, which are they going to get rid of? One of my tools, or my stadium? We'll find out. Okay, the stadium. I prefer that, quite frankly, because, and that's my first stadium. So there's a decent chance I can get my another stadium down, and hopefully I can get it to stick, because they don't like that. They must have other things to bump it. So I don't have boss. I only have one more boss in deck. They do have the stage 1. Okay, they're getting rid of my tool. Are they going to hit into me this turn? I don't love that play, getting rid of my tool if they weren't going to attack, though, because I might just reattach the tool this turn. That is what I would like to see happen, right? I'm going to keep these other. No, I'm gonna. Do I get rid of the Ultra Ball? No, I'm gonna keep it. I'm just. Excuse me, a little cough there. I was trying to think. All right, so I've got another path. Chuck you down. Have the rod. This is super nice. So there we go. A nice easy turn there. So they can one-shot me, right? With their Charmander. They have one Charmander. Okay. Wow. Okay. Do they have another rod though? Okay. If they have a rod, they should have waited, right? Because Charmander's 90 HP. He's level ball searchable. If they have another rod in deck, they should have Arven for the rod first. They might not have a rod though. Okay. That way they can 2-shot me with the Charmander. But it's not looking good for them. So, okay, so Ultra Ball, let's see what they can do. I know they have another Charmander in hand. Okay. I mean, Counter Catcher could be good at some point, too. They're getting rid of my tool is a concern. I will say that. I'd be more concerned if they got rid of both tools, I will say. Okay, Pidgey. He can attack as well. What's he do? He does 20, so that's not good for 2. I guess it's, yeah, slightly worse than the... Are they going to attack with Charmander? They are. Okay. Wow. Well, that's... Okay. I mean, wow. That's really all I can say, because I could retreat. I'm just going to attack. I mean, they bumped the stadium, but they giving up their guy that can damage me. Do they have some other plan to take me out? Now they can use Counter Catcher. All right, I got Boss, so that's really nice. So this is my last gusting card here, right? So we'll see what happens. Okay, well, I'm gonna just take a prize here. That's a given. I'm gonna play my tool down and take another prize. I'm down to what, 2 prizes? I have Boss. I'm down to 1 prize. So, okay. My opponent's not in a good spot here. If they bet, I assume they have some single prizes. I think they have a Charmander and a Pidgey. I have Boss, so if they don't disrupt my hand, I have game here. And I have game, so I will just say thank you to my opponent. Their sequencing was a bit odd. I guess they couldn't have recovered the Charmeleon. Okay, so there we go. You know, Mimikyu is a beast in a lot of matchups. A beast that does 70 damage, which isn't a lot, but when he's a wall that they can't get through with most of their stuff. Look, that a good matchup there for me, and yeah, game worked out well. All right, let's see what we can do here. Hopefully we get a nice game, of course. Hopefully we set up. With the starts, I'm finding to be a bit tricky, because, I mean, Mimikyu is really key in so many matchups. And then in which case, if it's a Mimikyu game, you don't want any of the multi-prizers in play. But the deck is designed to take advantage of the Mewtwo EX, right? That's trying to make that my big attack. All right, I'm going first. All right, well, I'm starting Mimikyu. That makes life easy. Path to the peak would have been good to get down, probably, but probably won't happen. So Lost Zone Engine. Not great. What am I going to do here? Guess I'm going to bench a Natu and hope something happens. It's not a good start, but I want to get my engine. Since I have a Xatu, benching. So the logic is I have a Xatu in hand, so bench the Natu. Attached to Mimikyu because he might attack next turn, right? He could take a prize next turn, quite possibly. Yeah. So. And so evolve to Xatu, accelerate. Now, if they knock out my Mimikyu, and I have to promote the Natu, and I can evolve to Xatu, I actually can't attack. I can't use the ability, I don't think, because I don't have a bench Pokemon to accelerate to. So I can't draw the 2 cards. And, I would just want to just draw the 2 cards without the acceleration even. So let's see what they have here, right? Hope they want to get a Colress, right? Maybe they don't have Colress because they can't search their deck as a whole thing. They're taking longer than I would have expected off this. They see 7 cards, I believe, right? Pokegear's a nice card, not rotating because it's been reprinted. So I'm not sure what they're doing. A little concerned that they've stopped playing or disconnected at this point. Okay, they failed it, or like I said, or they disconnected or stopped playing. I assume that would be the same result of this. So they conceded. I don't know. So don't know what that was about. I didn't. It's not like I had the most overpowered setup around. I can't believe. I guess they weren't going to get anything else in play, and then I was going to take them out the next turn. All right, see what happens. Hopefully we get a longer game than the last game. I might upload the last one too. I don't know. It was a quick concede by my opponent. I guess they were just really unhappy with what happens. So won the toss, get to go first. Of course, I have the Xatu engine, want to get him going. So, all right, so this is where things get tricky here. I'm going to bench the Mewtwo EX. A lot of these games, I'm just relying, if it's a single prize, if it's a Mimikyu game, of course, which I've talked about, then I do not want the Mewtwo in play at all. Maybe I should play a third Mimikyu in the deck, because Mimikyu to start is actually kind of a close and optimal starter. But we'll see. It's a good hand. I have Natu, I have Battle VIP Pass, I have Fog Crystal. I can get 4 basics in play. Right. So, okay. So it's a Charizard deck. I assume. Okay. What do I want to do here? So Mimikyu, Natu. Is that what I want? Mimikyu, Natu. Yeah. And I'll get down another Mimikyu and another Natu. I have the Natu, so yeah, grab the Mimikyu. I only have 2 Mimikyus in deck, so if I want 2 Mimikyus down, I have to grab him. And then where do I attach? Do I attach to the active? I will. I guess I'll attach active. I'm not entirely certain about this, so we'll see. So right now I have 6 prizes in play, right? So this. Now, if I do have the rods to get back Mimikyu, so we'll see what happens. This right, the first game, which I probably uploaded for this video, was a similar type of game. I think. I'm trying to think if I actually got the Mewtwo in play. I believe it was a Charizard game that I won earlier. Now I'm getting confused, but I think it was a Charizard game where I was just taking out pieces with my Mimikyu on a regular basis. The Charmanders. Blowing those up was nice. So at this point, I guess I just hit into the Rotom V. I'm not loving life here. Well, that's very nice. Path to the Peak is nice. There's no energy in the discard, but path down. They have a huge hand, so there's a decent chance they can bump it, though, right? So I'll do 70. It's not huge, but getting a little pressure on. 70. I do 100, so I don't take them out next turn either. If I hit a Xatu, I might be able to take them out, right? I mean, hopefully they can't bump the path, and they can't accelerate energy. They didn't attach energy to that turn. They have a big hand though, right? So Worker, Lost Vacuum, a Stadium. There's a number of outs I'm sure they have in their deck to pass to the Peak, but if they don't have it. Okay, so they're going to rare candy. Okay, so they're rare candy to Charizard without accelerating, so they don't have the out to the path. So, okay. That's good. It's buying me time, which I like a lot. So they chose that play before they Iono'd. Interesting. Okay, well, this is a better hand here, too. So I have the possibility of blowing up the Rotom V. They're going to blow me up with the Charizard EX, though, which I don't love, but once I take 2 prizes, they one-shot me with him. So now they bump the path. And I have the Brave. The nice thing is by there using that tool, it makes the Bravery Charm harder to get rid of. So we'll see. Okay, they're doing that again. Okay, well, this is pretty good here, actually, right? So I want to evolve you. I want to... Trying to think, do I want to... So I need 1 more energy, right? I do have Boss, though, too. Boss is actually very nice. I think I want to boss up him, actually, right? Boss up the Charizard because... Oh, wait, I don't have... Okay, so I need to get down another Xatu. So ditch you. I'm going to ditch the research because I want the boss this turn, I think. And I have a Xatu. I have an energy. I don't... right? Because if I take out the Rotom V, then then the Charizard does that much more damage to me. Ideally, I get Path. I missed Path, unfortunately. So I'm going to boss up him. That's okay. I'm going to... What's he doing now? To 130. I'm going to Bravery Charm my Mimikyu. I'm thinking he's going to be very important for me. So 160. I'm not halfway there, but I can finish him off next turn if things fall that way. They're not going to one-shot me, so I like that. Okay, oops. Okay, that's the go Charizards. I'm trying to take, Charmander. Just trying to take a look at what they're doing. So they have X. Since I don't have Path, they got rid of one Path, and I didn't hit Path. I could have researched that turn, which probably would have hit me Path, right? So they're going to Rare Candy, which okay, into the Charizard. Okay. They're going to attack. They could retreat. If they hard retreat, I don't necessarily mind that. They're going to discard the 2 energies. If they leave him there, I knock him out. Okay, justifies gloves. What's he do? 30 more to psychic. Okay, so that's not great. Although, or dark, sorry, to dark, not psychic. So, I don't know what he's grabbing. Rare candy. So do they have the Pidgeot? I mean, they're just playing the tool to thin it, I guess, which is fine. Okay, so I have the counter, so I'm going to take the first 2 prizes. This is good. This is very nice, right? So I'm doing 160, but I will get some more energy down and just kind of keep things going here. I still would like to get Path down, right? So I'm going to use my ability, get an energy onto you. I'll wait to attach, I guess, right? I'm going to Iono here. I do want to get Path down, right? Path would be really good. Okay, got Path. Got another Charm, too. That's very good. They're going to knock out my active, aren't they? I'm pretty sure, right? They're just going to knock him out. So I have to be okay with that. So take 2 prizes. They're going to take 2 prizes. And then I'm just going to start working away on them. Right? They're going to have to hit through 2 Mimikyus. So I think maybe I should have attached my energy to the Xatu, because they could gust him up. Look, they're not going to gust Stalo. They're just going to keep smacking away. If they can get a Xatu in the active, they're going to one-shot that. Yeah, I mean, I want to get... So I played... Did I use a boss? I used boss, and the boss was good, because the boss took out one of the Charizards, which are a lot of work to get. So Path to the Peak is good. They want to bump Path to get the Pidgeot EX viable, in which case it's more likely that my tools are going to survive. Plus, they already played 1 Lost Vacuum. So I don't know. They may play more in the deck. I don't know the build, what the 60 is. All right, do they have Lost? Yeah, so they have... Okay, that's their Lost Zone card. So this is fine. So they just knock me out. At this point... Oh, no, not you. Send you up. It's funny the way the bench just slides over, but it is what it is, right? So I am going to... I'm going to... Do I want to... I'm going to Iono here first, because I think I want to... No, I want an energy attached to this Xatu, just so I have the pivot. Not that that's something I'm probably going to utilize, but that's what I'm just thinking. I want to Iono, just shrink their hand, add path down, get their hand size smaller. Okay, so those are fine. I don't need any of these cards here, so just start poking at them. It's a lot of turns, but this is what happens here, right? I got the first two prizes, which was good. I'm glad I gusted them up, the bench guy, rather than finishing off the Rotom V. The Rotom V is weak, though. Okay, so they're bumping the path. Get Iono'd. I have two more paths, right? That's my second path, right? That one's in the lost zone. Whoops. So I have the Xatus I can start powering up as well. And I want to get the Xatu powered up because he can one-shot these other threats as well, right? So I want to try to get... Do I want to... No, I don't have path in hand, so I don't want to shuffle the deck. Shuffling the deck I don't think is my friend. So I'm going to set this Xatu up to attack, potentially. Again, I think I Iono'd. I didn't have path, right? I don't think, so don't shuffle the deck. Okay, that is what it is. So I missed path. That's okay. It's not great, but it's what we have. Now, canceling Cologne is a problem, though. That one I don't like, I will say. That's the one card where if they can hit through the one shot, if they can blow up the Mimikyu with an EX, that's something I don't want to see happen, right? Because that's the thing I'm counting on them not being able to do. I'm counting on them having to do a lot of work to get through a Mimikyu. I have the tool. They've got to bump the tool. There is a Charmeleon that can one-shot me. Okay. So see what supporter they're grabbing. Arvin, okay. See what they have. Obviously, canceling Cologne will make me very sad. They may play Forest Seal Stone, so Rare Candy. Okay, it makes a ton of sense. And obviously, not having passed the peak is unfortunate, but they've done a good job. They bumped it twice for me. They lost zoned one and they bumped the other. Okay. Now they would like to shrink their bench again and get rid of something. Okay, so if I would like to take out that Charmander if I can. If I hit a boss, we'll say goodbye to the Charmander, right? I have to say I want to get path down. They probably want to. I don't know if they play more Collapse Stadium. I'm sure they like to get rid of that Rotom V. He's a 2-prize liability at this point. They can't attack with him. He has damage on him. I still am having to do a bunch of work to get through him. I would love a boss. I'm trying to remember what this count is now. All right, I think the best thing for Path to the Peak is still to keep working for the top of the deck. All right, that did not work. All right, let me just do this. I would like a boss, of course. I'm going to grab you. Let's see. There's no boss there. There's one path and no boss. Okay. And no Counter Catcher. What's the situation in my deck? I played one boss. So a boss and a Counter Catcher are both prized, right? It looks like to me. Let me do this. Get rid of this guy. Just thinning the deck some because I do want to hit that Path to the Peak. It would make me happy for sure. Just working. Then I'll Iono. Okay. I mean, I'm going to hold on to the Fog Crystal because it still might want that. Don't want to ditch too many of these cards. All right, do I get up my path? I get the path. This is my last path, right? One's prized again. My prize is, I think I know. Is that my so boss, counter catcher, and a path, right? Because one's there. I think just one's there. Yeah, so a path is there. I believe a boss and a counter catcher. Those are all really nice prizes to get. So still 2 more hits on this Charizard, right? Not great. Well, okay, lost vacuum. So what are they going to get rid of? The path? I hope it's the path. I really, because they can't one-shot the Mimikyu. I'm pretty certain. So they want to use Pidgeot EX's ability. I get it. I'm still more worried about. Okay, I'm not sure what their game plan is. Okay. So they might not play a stage 1, in which case they're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I don't. All right, so they're bossing up a Xatu, which is fine. What's his HP, by the way? He's at 120. So I send up the Mimikyu, hit into you. That's a, and that's perfectly fine. You're not going to win the game that way. I know that. So I'm just going to attack at this point. I don't. The cards I want are my prizes. So I don't see any reason to dig in my deck. And so that was quick and easy. They have the Pidgeot EX, or Pidgeotto EX, right? No, Pidgeot EX, sorry, yeah. And I don't think they can, I mean, they can run to the bench this turn, which I'm guessing they do. Okay. So he's the guy I'm scared of. And this is where I wanted the boss. So they're going to, okay. So it's a little scary now. But I'm going to take 2 prizes this turn, which is good. I'm going to take 2 prizes. They can't win this next turn. So I don't really think I want to Iono, do I? I think I just want to attack. And, unfortunately I can't, and I can't one-shot him. So this is now, it's now a bit scary territory. Let's see what I hit here. Counter catcher, but I'm not behind. Boss is good. I wish I had the boss earlier, or the counter catcher for that matter, right? So that he has the free retreat. The Charmeleon is the guy that I'm mostly scared of, right? Now he does 20 to himself, so that's actually in my favor, right? So that means I one-shot him. So we'll see what happens here. So my hand is pretty good. I didn't hit the path. Obviously, path boss would have been optimal. Looks like I'm not going to be able to use the counter catcher, right? And that's my second boss, right? So I think I want to hit into the Charmeleon. They probably don't play 2 also. There's a decent chance they don't play a second one, in which case they may have another rod to recover him. So unless he can get rid of my tool, though, he doesn't one-shot me, and then I one-shot him based on his damage he does to himself. So this is good. So I think I just attack here, right, for knockout. Path would be nice. So, right, that 20 damage to himself is huge in this matchup. Okay, so that last, the card I wanted, the path, I didn't hit. But right now I have game in hand. We'll see. I may get disrupted. So they don't have energy, though, on the Charmander. So they can't accelerate to it, right? So I don't know what they're going to get down here. They need to attach an energy. They could try to get another Charmander, and I don't know if they have more rare candies or not in deck. What's their rare candy situation? No, they're out of rare candies, so they can't. They could evolve into the Charizard EX to accelerate energy. Okay, so that's game. So once again, Mimikyu was the star, although the Mewtwo V definitely helped along the way, right? It helped get things set up for me. So yeah, these Charizard decks are really not good matchups for the Mimikyu decks, right? That's one thing, right? There's certain decks that the Lost Zone matchups are not good with a deck like this. A Charizard deck is a good matchup, but then we do have the Mewtwo EX for this other matchup, so it's there's obviously some balance that they bring different things. The Mewtwo and the Mimikyu. The Xatu engine's pretty nice when you get it set up. I'm thinking the 4 Battle VIP Pass right now are kind of a must for it. That's going to rotate, but there is the one that can get some 70 HP or less Pokemon into play too. So that that probably makes the Xatu engine even better because you can do that after the turn one. But look, it's a fun deck. Glad I did it. And if you have suggestions of how to improve the 60, please let me know in the comments below. Have some fun playing Pokemon.